Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Kato and I'm so glad you're joining me again today. Today's card is super bright and colorful, but also really clean and simple. I made a birthday card with some stamps by my favorite things and also Jane's Doodles. To start this card, I put an A2 sized panel of Clairefontaine DCP 250 GSM cardstock in my Misti, and I adhered that with purple tape because I needed that for masking anyway. So that's perfect for adhering it to my Misti, and then I am using the rippled background stamp by my favorite things to stamp some rainbow stripes in there. I'm just being careful with inking it up so I don't cross over those masks, and I'm just inking that up with Pinkfresh Studio ink cubes in a rainbow order. I really love these stripes. They're really organic and sketchy. I love the look of them. It's really playful and I love the rainbow colors as well. Now I did want to add a little bit more color to that strip, so I left the masks in place and I'm using those same inks that I used for the stamping to ink blend on some color, but I'm mostly keeping it to the edges and keeping the middle white. That will give some dimension or a dimensional look to it anyway. And it will also define that edge a little bit more. Then I can peel off the masks and work on my focal images. These cake images are from the aptly named cake stamp set by Jane's Doodles, and I just stamped those onto Clairefontaine DCP 250 GSM cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink. I used my Misti for that so I could get a nice impression, and I am coloring those in with my alcohol markers. I'm using the Decotime twin brush markers, and these work fine. They're not Copic markers, but they work fine for me. Now I do highly recommend this paper. If you're in the EU, it's really easy to get and it's perfect for ink blending. It's super smooth and also great for alcohol markers. Now the price differs from store to store and also it's cheaper sometimes. There are a lot of deals on this paper as well, but it's usually quite cheap. I think I pay around 10 euros for this ream of 125 sheets, which is quite cheap compared to the Nina Solar White, for example, which is also used for ink blending and alcohol markers. Now for this coloring, I am not doing too much shading. I am just starting out with my darkest shade, or what I think will be my darkest shade, and then blending that out with a midtone and finally with the highlight. I keep my color palette quite limited, except for the candles later, but I use the same pink in the roses, in the cake stand, and in the frosting, and I use the same brown for the chocolate cake and for the chocolate frosting as well. So there's not too much going on there except for the candles, and that's great because it will go on that rainbow strip on the card. Now once I'm done coloring these, I will fussy cut those out, and then I can stamp my sentiment right on top of that rainbow strip. Before stamping this, I do prep my cardstock with an anti-static powder bag because I want to stamp this in Versafine Onyx Black, and I can emboss this then. I will emboss it with Wow Clear Gloss Superfine Embossing Powder for a nice glossy finish. And once that's heat set, I can adhere that panel to my card base. I'm using a top folding card base, and I make this out of Mondi Color Copy cardstock. This is really cheap cardstock, but it's super sturdy. I usually buy the A3 size reams, so I can get 3 A2 size cards out of it. Mixing US card sizes with EU paper sizes is a little bit confusing, but I'll leave the explanation in the description below. It's a really great option if you're in the EU. I'm not sure if it's available in the US. I propped up my cake images on some foam tape. I used one layer of foam tape for the cake in the back, and I used 2 layers of foam tape for the cake in the front. And then I can just add a couple of embellishments. These are from Pinkfresh Studio, and I just adhered those with Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. Now for a little bit extra gloss, I am using the Glossy Accents to give a nice shine to the frosting. I'm applying a really thin layer of this. I usually go quite heavy-handed with the Glossy Accents because I love the dimension it gives, but for this I didn't want it to be two-dimensional. That wouldn't really make sense for frosting. I just wanted it to give a nice glossy shine. For my envelope, I'm keeping things really simple. I am using some vellum, which has some rainbow stripes on it, so I thought that would fit my card design pretty well, and I really like vellum envelopes. If you just like the look of them but don't want the recipient to already see the card design, you can just put a piece of cardstock in front of your card so the recipient can still be surprised, and you can send them a nice fancy vellum envelope. And that's it, a super simple card and a super simple envelope. I really like how the rainbow stripes repeat on the envelope, but not exactly the same. And I really love those cake images as well. Perfect for birthday cards, but also I think that a pink cake that I made would be perfect for a wedding card as well. Jane's Doodles has amazing stamps, really unique designs, and I love how she packages her orders. I'm not at all sponsored by her, sadly, but I highly recommend you check her out. I will leave a link to her store in the description below. I hope you liked this card and I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to read them. And of course, you can also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.